Oh, okay. Here we go. Not in the routine at all because, like Steve just said before to me before this podcast, wow, this was the worst start I think I've ever had. Steve, come on, take the opening.
All right. Well, apparently Owen's completely incompetent. This is the 1 Minute Sports, our NHL playoff preview podcast. We've got your host Grover over here, and we got our special guest O-Dog.
Yeah, I couldn't spit out any words to start the podcast. I was just like so stunned by it starting, and
yeah,
so I had to hand over the hosting duties to you.
Well, it's our first podcast in a while. I mean,
yeah, months.
You guys did one, just you and Baca a couple weeks ago, but I wasn't on that.
I don't even.
It's the only one I've ever missed, so wasn't upset. Wasn't happy about that.
Cal Ripken breaking his streak. All right. So you're going to the game tonight, Islanders.
Yeah, I'm going over to the Verizon Center pretty much right after this podcast ends. Gonna go to. I mean, it's no Fort Never Lose, but we'll see what they have to offer at the library over there.
Oh my God! I'm beyond jealous right now. Like, I've never been to a playoff hockey game.
Neither have I.
And it's like higher on my bucket list than, like, I don't know, going to see like the Seven Wonders of the World. I don't care about that. I would rather go see
Seven Wonders in the World are overrated.
Yeah, a Game 7, Rangers Islanders. That's better than like a pyramid.
Absolutely. I mean,
but all right, let's get into it because you guys are tonight and we're tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen? Like, what are you expecting for this game? Like,
well, I think the Islanders can win this series. Honestly, I mean, a lot of people are picking the Caps, but they split the season series, and I mean, we saw when the Islanders are playing the way they are capable of playing. I mean, I don't know if anyone can beat them, but they haven't been playing that way recently.
Yeah, I think there's like a tendency to always to overcompensate for picking against teams that kind of stumbled into the playoffs a little bit, and that's sort of I had to fix my thing because it looked like I was like bald for a second, but like. Everybody's seen the type of team the Islanders can be. They were the best team in hockey for about half the season. Well, but one of the best teams in hockey for about half the season. And then, I mean, you couldn't keep that up for an entire year. Yeah. I mean, you have to be an all-time great team to put that up for an entire year. So I think, while there's an emphasis on going into the playoffs hot, I mean, the Islanders are a super talented team. So, like, there's no reason people should be picking against them.
The one thing that everyone who's picking against the Islanders, the hot thing they like to bring up is the Islanders' penalty kill, which is bad. But the Islanders also spend the least amount of time. They go to the box the least amount of time of any team in the NHL. So they spend less time on the penalty kill. So it's not as big of a problem as everyone makes it out to be.
And one thing that, I mean, I don't know how many just Capital games I've watched this year because I've watched all the Capitals Rangers games, and then I think I probably saw one of the Capitals Islanders games. But definitely for the Rangers Capitals ones, the Rangers penalty kill is one of the best in the leagues. But what they do is for the Capitals, if they get hot on the penalty kill, they'll score every single time. But if you rough up Ovi a little bit and like you stop it, you make a few nice saves, then that's the Caps' playoff mentality. They just crumble.
I mean, yeah, the biggest thing for the Islanders is Mikhail Bobrovsky, because he was all season he was kind of like the unsung hero. He was like he didn't put up like huge numbers. He had a good year, but he didn't put up like big numbers. He got a concussion against Nashville a few weeks ago, and that's really when like the Islanders were like slumping. It was after they lost Grabowski because they couldn't like control the tempo of the game. I mean, I said in like I don't know whatever podcast we did in like early February, the only thing that could possibly stop this team is injuries.
Yeah, and
since then, which has been the main reason of their slump going into the playoffs. They lost Okposo for a month and a half. They lost Grabowski. He's been about a month. and now Hamonick's down, but Hamonick might play today. I'm not sure if that's been released or not. I don't know if Capuano came out with the lines yet.
Oh, okay. I was going to talk about the injuries. That's where I think the Islanders season sort of. I mean, you could kind of pinpoint it with the start of the Okposo injury.
Yeah, it was Okposo's injury was really,
and then. So it's something about. Well, I'm gonna bring up the Rangers again because Okposo going down, this going down about the same time. I mean, the Rangers got lucky and they had Talbot just come out of nowhere and play out of his mind, but the Islanders they didn't get that guy, and so they obviously they got Okposo back, and now it's just about putting it. Let's see if it's put together for the playoffs, because they've been trying to put it together, and it just hasn't meshed very well.
Yeah, when Okposo went down, Anders Lee came up huge. He had a monster about a month when Okposo was out. He was, I mean, aside from Forsberg in Nashville, he was like the best rookie in the NHL for that period of time. But I mean, since Okposo came back, he hasn't been playing like he was when he went down. Like when he went down, he was on a tear. He had just scored 4 goals against Pittsburgh, and then it was like, I think that was the last game before the All-Star break, and then he got hurt. I don't even know when he got hurt. I don't know if it was during a game or during practice, or I don't know, playing with his dog at home or something. But he got an eye injury. I don't know.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere because you were the one that broke it. Remember, you were the one. You broke the story.
I didn't necessarily break the story, but I like said he had the eye injury. I was like, yeah, I heard it's an eye injury, and then I don't know where I heard that from, and then I didn't see any of that for like 2 weeks, and then they actually came out with the injury. It was like, yeah, it's a detached retina. I was like, oh, there we go.
Why is it? It's never mind. I thought it was switching. The camera's being weird. It's being weird today. I haven't done this in forever. I'm rusty, but whatever. I'm playing through.
Yeah, the main thing is stopping, obviously, Ovechkin when he's on the power play, because they like to just set him up with that one-timer.
Yeah, one-timer.
Right
about
from the
4,
point.
Yeah. Right there. See if he can put it past the pad of the goal. You see, he does it. He probably did it 30 times this season.
Yeah, that's why he scored 53 goals. I mean, how many of those were one-timers on the power play? How many power play goals do you have this year? I'm going to look that up.
He's the best. He's the best scorer in the NHL right now, and he's had a tendency. He's never played great in the playoffs. He's never been like the best scorer in the playoffs. He's always been a decent scorer. He's always put up goals, but he's never been able to dominate in the playoffs the way he has in the regular season. And I think that's a little bit because of the fact that everything does get amped up a lot in the playoffs, and defense gets stingier. The penalty kill gets like everybody. I feel like every team's penalty kill seems to just to go up in the playoffs. Like I just don't think. I mean, the Rangers' penalty kill going into last playoffs was not great, but then over the course of the run, you couldn't score off of them. And I think in the playoffs, the defense ramps up, the penalty kill ramps up, and guys like Ovechkin find it's harder for them to find shots.
Ovechkin has 25 power play goals this season.
Did you see that stalling I was trying to do there for you to get that?
I've had that up for like a minute.
All right.
He has 25 power play goals. The next closest is Joe Pavelski with 19. So, yeah, stopping him on the power play is going to be huge. I mean, I don't know where Calvin DeHaan has been. I want to put out an ad on the back of a milk carton because he's just been scratched for like I don't know how many straight games and he's pure in terms of pure defensive talent, he's probably the best defender the Islanders have. I mean, Leddy and Boychuk are better overall players because they put a lot up on offense, but pure like defending ability, I'll probably give DeHaan the edge on the Islanders, and there's no reason for him to not be in the lineup every night.
Yeah.
So either he has some injury that is, I don't know, they're not putting him on the DL, they're just keeping him day to day and scratching him, or Capuano hates him. or he's just gone missing. I don't know.
I
But
mean,
I hope he's back tonight. I hope him and Hamonic should both be in the lineup tonight. I mean, if Hamonic's healthy.
it's easy to look at the star players in the playoffs and stuff, but this is like Tavares's first playoffs where he's supposed to be. He's supposed to like.
This is his first playoffs when he's the guy. Like
where he's supposed to emerge as a playoff guy. Like if Islanders, he's supposed to be the Islanders' Lundqvist. If the Islanders go far in the playoffs, it has to be because of him, and that's.
I mean, people are saying he might overtake Carey Price for the Hart Trophy, because if you look at like what MVP is most valuable to your team,
yeah,
he's clearly the most, or not clearly, but oh, this is my roommate.
Oh, my roommate's right over here.
There you go. He's I just lost my train of thought. Take him off the Islanders. I don't know how many points they even score this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's every year in baseball when you do that, when they have that, when the MVP discussion goes out, it always goes down to or any sport, it goes down to the best stats versus the most valuable. In hockey, it's different because stats are weird in hockey, and besides goals and assists, stats are different in hockey than baseball, basketball. It's tougher to. So, but Tavares to the Islanders, without Tavares, if you just put in an average first line center, I don't think the Islanders they make the playoffs, but they're definitely not as good of a team.
I mean, how many teams would Tavares be on and not be the starting center? Like Blackhawks with Taves, Penguins, Crosby, and who else would you start over him? At center, honestly. That's what I mean.
He's one of not just centers, how many teams would he go on where he's just the best player?
Yeah, I mean,
if he came to the Rangers, he'd be the best player on the Rangers.
Probably. I mean, he was second in scoring. I mean, what's his name? Jamie Benn scored 4 points in his final game to pass Tavares, come out of nowhere with his one hip. But yeah, he had 3 goals and an assist in his final game. So.
All right, so let's move this along a little bit because you've got to go to the Verizon Center.
Yeah, so my prediction for it is I think the Islanders will win it, but I don't know how many games it'll go. But I think the Islanders will step up and win this series. Honestly, that's not just me being a homer. That's me thinking the Islanders are a better team than the Capitals.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it depends which half of the year Islanders team shows up, but I just think this is me because I want the Rangers-Islanders series to happen so bad. I'll go Islanders-Caps. I'll go 7 games because why not? Let's pray for 7 games.
I mean, speaking of Rangers, what do you think about that? You like that segue as the host of the show?
Beautiful segue. The host does it again. I am so pumped. I've never been this excited for any favorite team of mine that I've ever there's only been one. No, there's been 2 great, really good teams that I've rooted for in my life. And that was the 2006 Mets and the 2000 and I'm saying they were good because of the way they played that season. The 2012-2013 Knicks. Why is it switching so much? This thing is killing me. I'm just gonna manually do it, I guess. All right, whatever. I lost my train of thought too. Okay, so I was talking about this Rangers team though is my favorite team that I've ever watched in my whole life. They're so good. They're so good. There is zero doubt in my mind that they're winning the Stanley Cup, and I am so happy. And that is the last time that I will say that until June. I don't know. I'm gonna say 17th. I'm gonna make it June 17th is the day that the Rangers win the Stanley Cup. What?
Just making up a date.
Making up the date. June 20th is going to be the day that we're riding down the Canyon of Heroes. But I'm going to be wearing this. I washed this sweatshirt yesterday, and it will not be watched again until June 17th. And I am
Hold on for one second. You keep talking for a second.
I'll just stall again. I'll just do what I did last time. All right. So now that I'm just talking to the listener. This Rangers team is it's a fun one to watch because we started out so bad. Like
they weren't that bad. I mean, they didn't start off terrible. I mean,
it got over. Everybody overreacted because we were coming off the Stanley Cup, and we were supposed to come out and dominate. And I think every Rangers fan kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. We had so much changeover in the offseason. Like we lost some really key guys from the Stanley Cup run, and I mean it was going to be a rough go. I mean, Lundqvist is always a slow starter, but I guess we thought that magically things would have changed, and they didn't. We started out what, like 9 or 10-10 or something like that before we went on the huge December run to January run. It was just, it was like a disappointing start, but that it made it that much more exciting up to this point because, I mean, I just love the spot we're in. It's easy to say I love the spot we're in right now because we won the President's Trophy and we're the best team in the NHL. But I love the spot we're in right now. I love the Penguins in the first round. Just
Penguins are in a free fall right now. I mean, I know we were talking about the Islanders were in a slump, but the Penguins are just
the Penguins
they lost like 8 of their last 9 games or something crazy like that.
Yeah, the Penguins are mincemeat. They're a playoff warm up for us. It's like they gave us a bye in the first round, but instead of making us all rusty for the second round, they're like, we'll just let you guys play against this minor league hockey team in the playoffs. And
you're not afraid of the President's Trophy curse?
A little bit, because bad things tend to happen to me. But
yeah.
I don't want to say this team is jinx proof, but I mean, Lundqvist went down and we got better. Like this team, it's a team of destiny. And we went out and we got Yandel at the deadline, and he hasn't put up statistically. He hasn't statistically been great, but our defense is just monstrous now. Like it's just, I mean, there's not one. I wrote this in my part 1 of why the Rangers will win the Stanley Cup. Part 2 is coming out tomorrow. In case you were all wondering, because I thought there was some confusion as to when part 2 was coming out. But in part 1 of my part 3 series, it's 3 parts. Hey, I mean, there's a lot of reasons this team's going to win the Stanley Cup. I couldn't put it all in one.
Yeah. Get on with it.
All right. There's no weakness on this team, really. I mean, besides we're a little light at center, but even
I was gonna say like forward depth.
No, we've good
but like other than Nash, like real goal scoring, and that's blue. So
Nash's stats are kind of pumping him up a little bit more than he is. The second half of the year, he fell off. He was. I
mean, he was right there with Ovi like all season, and then
goal. And then he
was leading for most of it, and he finished 10 behind Ovi. I mean, no one finished within 9 of them.
Yeah, I would have been shocked if he kept up with him, but I mean, he wasn't missing by much, but he just wasn't putting him in. But that's the great, like, we don't have goal scorers, but every single night somebody else scores a goal.
Yeah.
Like every single night it's Kevin Hayes, or it's Derek Brassard, or it's Zuccarello, or Hagelin learns to shoot, or like one of the defenders Klein creates chaos, and it's just, we do it a different way, and it's great because I think that's what a playoff hockey is. You can't play the same way every single night, because that's why teams like the Capitals and the Penguins lose every single year, because they only play that one offensive style of hockey.
So if you knock them off their game, you can just
Exactly. And what I'm saying is the Rangers don't have a game. They just don't have a game. They don't have a part of them that's too good. Like the only part of them that is really like great, I guess, is Henrik Lundqvist's like playoff ability, like playoff goalie ability. Other than that, they're not lethal on the penalty kill. They're not lethal. They're not the best defensive team ever. They're just so above average that they're just going to coast to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. I don't know about coast to Stanley Cup, but the Rangers will do well. We kind of got to move this along a little bit because I got to get going over the.
Oh, totally.
But I want to some other topics. One, the Habs.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I got to walk this over to my. Keep talking.
The only thing that can stop the Habs is long series, because I mean the way they play, if they can keep a series short, I think they'll win the cup. But I mean, the way they play, it's way too physical to go every other night for a month. So in that style.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that can really slow them down is if they get into long series, they're going to get worn down and they're not going to be able to play at that level anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're such a talented team, but the playoff hockey it's because they played 82 games and they played like this, but playoff hockey, it's one night after the other. One night is more physical than the next.
Yeah.
And I mean, Carey Price could win them the cup on his own. Like, he's that good. But that's why I'm so excited for a possible Habs Rangers Eastern Conference Finals, because the Rangers are so fast and the Habs are so physical. It would be like a clash of just two like great styles.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, I think the Habs will be in the conference finals because I mean their side of the bracket's weak. I mean, three of the best four teams, honestly, in the playoff: Caps, Islanders, and Rangers. But I think Detroit will beat Tampa. I think Tampa's very overrated.
Yeah, I think Tampa. They started out really strong, like the Islanders.
I don't know what it is. I mean, they finished strong too, but they just nothing about them really impresses me. But I say Habs over Bolts, Rangers over Penguins, and I fucked that up. Habs over Senators, Wings over Bolts, Rangers over Penguins, and Isles over Caps. And I don't really want to touch the West because I don't think there's not a single thing. The West is too confusing this year. Teams are up and down. The Blackhawks just got Patty Kane back, but how ready is Patty Kane going to be?
That's going to be that's the Blackhawks are they could either he could either bring him to the cup or he could mess everything up for him, and they like chemistry wise, and they could lose in the first round. But
the Wild are on fire, but I don't know if they can keep that up against playoff teams every night. I don't know. I don't like the West.
I don't like the West either.
The West doesn't.
I think the Stanley Cup winner is going to come from the East.
Yeah, this is the first year in a very long time that the East is better than the West.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see. I'll go on the East. I'll go obviously Habs over Senators. I'm going to go Lightning over Detroit because I don't think Detroit is that great. I think they're great at consistently getting into the playoffs, but they haven't made noise in a long time, and I just think that they're a team that's like they're one of those teams that is just good enough to get in again and again and again, and they're not good enough to get over the top. But then obviously I've got the Rangers over the Penguins. I almost forgot we were playing the Penguins for a second because I'm so on to the second round already. And then Islanders over Capitals. Then I guess I'll go Islanders or Rangers. Take the Rangers.
We'll worry about. We'll probably do like a second round show.
Yeah, we'll do a second round show.
I'm not going to make any promises because this is the first content I've put out on this site in a very long time.
No, I'm trying to do like a couple of weeks.
I meant May.
Oh, for you. Okay. All right. I'm like, I'm trying to put some stuff up.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a pretty good spot to wrap it. We got
Yeah.
some pretty good playoff coverage. Yeah, we'll try to do a second round show, but again, no promises on that.
no promises. We barely got the first round show off.
Really came close to the edge here.
Yeah. So anyway, have fun at the Islanders game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a time.
Good luck to you guys. I say that now because in a week and a half, I'll probably want to kill you. And my roommates try to be all creepy and look at the thing.
It's chaos.
It's just chaos. Let's just end it. 1 Minute Sports podcast, first one in a while. Playoff preview over. Peace, bitches.
Put it in the books.
Put it in the books.